Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm G.
Alright G, just the two of us today.
It is.
Aidan's busy with, doesn't really like the celebrity home sort of like
No.
videos, does he?
No, he
He's not into them sort of thing. He's doesn't get a...
Probably don't know who half of them are.
Correct, that's why, yeah. But anyway, we're gonna cover some most over-the-top celebrity homes.
Yeah, money doesn't buy class.
100% correct there. Yeah, so let's get straight into it, shall we? Most over-the-top celebrity homes.
Fame gives you a few special privileges, and many celebrities decide to use their vast sums of cash to build incredible homes that look unbelievable. However, some of these homes take things a bit too far.
Nice.
In today's video, we're going to count down the top 15 most over-the-top celebrity homes.
I love that, mate.
Let's begin with number 15, America's Versailles. Unfortunately, money simply cannot buy taste, and David Siegel is a perfect example of that principle in action. That's because ever since 2004, the timeshare business magnate has been dumping millions into a home modeled after the Palace of Versailles in France. When completed, it will likely be the largest single-family home in North America, and it will be fit with 14 bedrooms, 11 kitchens, 32 bathrooms, and an indoor roller rink. And while it is by all accounts supposed to be classy, I can't help thinking that all the over-the-top pomp makes it kinda trashy. Number 14, Elon Musk's glass house. Elon Musk, he hasn't always been that honest about his housing situation. After all, back in 2021, he claimed that he lived in a $50,000 tiny house. However, it was soon exposed that he actually spent most of his time in a friend's nearby $12 million mega mansion. So therefore, while we're a bit skeptical about this latest announcement, in 2023 he made headlines when he announced that he was building a glass house. It's known as Project 42, and everything from a twisted hexagon to a glass box have been suggested as designs. However, exactly what he's choosing to go with is yet to be determined. Number 13, the Airport Mansion.
What?
While it's hard not to love John Travolta for his role in movies like Grease and Saturday Night Fever, it's hard to see why he would willingly turn his home into an airport. You see, if you visit his 220-acre estate in Ocala, Florida, you'll not only find a 7,600-square-foot mansion and an 8,700-square-foot conference center, but also you'll stumble across a 3,600-foot runway complete with 2 large planes. According to reports, Travolta always dreamed of being able to fly in and out of his home, and while the resulting setup may look a bit tacky, it allows him to do just that. Number 12, the Mediterranean Estate. Michael Eisner was known for being one of Disney's most dynamic CEOs, but when not on set or in the office, he winded down on his incredible Mediterranean estate. While not actually in Europe, after all, it's located in Malibu, California, the sprawling 25,000-square-foot complex was built in a Mediterranean style, complete with 16 bedrooms, 22 bathrooms, terracotta roof tiles, and wood furnishings. This beachfront property is the perfect place to wind down and relax. However, in mid-2022, Michael Eisner decided to make the home available on the market for an astounding $225 million. Yet it remains to be seen whether or not anyone will bite at that price.
It's nice, yeah.
Beautiful.
Number 11, the Slammer. When it comes to magicians, few are as famous as Penn Jillette from the famous Penn and Teller Magic Act. However, what many don't know is that for years, Penn had a house known as the Slammer that was nothing if not strange. Located in the middle of the Mojave Desert, he expanded it over the decades to create a 7,900-square-foot compound that looks like something out of a Technicolor acid trip. Complete with strangely shaped buildings, twisted walkways, and a super colorful exterior, it was certainly one of the strangest mansions ever built. However, after 32 years of ownership, he sold the Slammer to a property developer in 2016, and since then, the new owner has demolished the mansion.
Not surprised.
Number 10, the Heat. It's not hard to like the one and only Will Smith and his string of incredibly funny TV shows, comedy gigs, and movies that's made him a mainstay in Hollywood. This has translated into an incredibly lucrative career, and it's with these career earnings that he created a home like no other. Known as The Heat, the property in question is a $2.5 million, 1,200-square-foot motorhome that's decked out to the nines. Designed by Florida-based company Anderson Mobile Estates, Smith uses it as a home away from home while working on film sets around North America. In order to make it as similar to his mega mansions as possible, he outfitted the first floor so that it features a lit makeup mirror with a built-in television, offices for his assistants, a full-service kitchen, a $25,000 bathroom with automated windows that turn opaque on command, and Star Trek-like doors that make a futuristic swoosh
cool.
sound when they open. The pop-up second floor can be used if more space is needed, and that has automated shades, 3 televisions, and a business lounge, all of which are perfect for housing larger groups of guests. If this wasn't all crazy enough, the heat is also trimmed with super expensive luxury furnishings, with these including $200,000 granite countertops, $125,000 in tech and gadgets, and $30,000 in real leather on the couches and the ceilings. Now, while this level of luxury may be out of reach for most, the heat is more accessible than you might think. That's because when Will Smith isn't using it, he rents it out for a relatively reasonable $9,000 per week. So, if you've got some cash to splash on a top-tier mobile home, the heat may just be the place for you. Number 9. The Movie Set Ranch. If you want to watch a good old spaghetti western, it's not that hard to hop on Netflix, find a suitable movie, and watch away. However, if you're like American fashion designer and filmmaker Tom Ford, that might not be enough. That's because back in 2001, he acquired an old western movie set for his own personal use. While originally designed for the 1985 film Silverado, Ford decided to put the time, money, and effort into transforming the street facades on the 81-hectare property into usable structures. In order to make sure he got things just right, he hired Pritzker Prize-winning and self-taught Japanese architect Tadao Ando to do much of the design work. In the first set of renovations, Ford had Ando create an ultra-modern main residence. The end result was a building that was both minimalist and neat, with it being made of concrete and glass and appearing to float on a shallow lake-sized pool. While this part of the property didn't exactly stay true to the Western motif and theme, the other areas were more faithful reproductions. That's because, with the exception of the 2 modern guest houses, Ford had several other buildings built that were more in tune with the Western theme. He also constructed some decidedly Western-style facilities, with these including an 8-stall horse barn and an indoor and outdoor circular riding ring. In 2007, a larger expansion began, with this one being done in relation to the filming of the movie 3:10 to Yuma. The end result was a truly impressive set. Tom Ford decided to list the ranch on the market in 2016 for an asking price of $75 million. After finding no buyers at that price, he lowered it to $48 million in late 2019. And in early 2021, he finally found a buyer. Number 8. Johnny Depp's French Village. While many people would call it extreme to buy a large mansion or a private island, Johnny Depp took things to a whole new level by buying an entire village in the south of France. You see, after making big bucks from his films, in 2001, Depp made the decision to buy an entire French village 27 kilometers north of Saint-Tropez. Once he had finished...
Wasn't he married to someone who was French?
Yeah,
Vanessa Paradis. Yeah.
The purchase, he owned 12 structures and spread across 37 acres of land, with all of them being built in the 1800s. From this rather strong start, Johnny Depp got to work designing and renovating the village to create a personal paradise. After pumping in about $10 million into the place and personally designing everything, he ended up with a property with a grand total of 10,000 square feet of living space. Now, this space includes a main house, several guest cottages, a chapel, a bar and a restaurant, a workshop, and a staff house, with the whole compound having a grand total of 15 bedrooms and 14 bathrooms. In a very Johnny Depp-esque twist, the village has a private-themed wine cellar, while those looking for a bit of fun can enjoy the village's skate park and 2 swimming pools. When you further consider that the village also features a charming town square, fully stocked gym, and a fair amount of old artwork, it's not hard to see why this village is a top-tier property. It should be noted that despite being so grand, Johnny Depp put the village up for sale in 2016, with it being 4 years after he separated from his French partner. However, to date, no one has accepted his $63 million asking price, and as a result, it still remains in his possession.
Go buy it.
Given how gorgeous it is, Depp's probably okay with that state of affair. Moving on to number 7, the Skywalker Ranch. While George Lucas became little more than a creative consultant after selling the Star Wars franchise to Disney, it should come as little surprise that he's still heavily invested in the franchise. And it's this notable amount of investment that led him to create an insanely high-end Star Wars-themed ranch in a rural area north of San Francisco. Owned by Mr. Lucas since 1978, it's not his full-time residence. However, when he wants to retreat from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, he heads over to the one and only Skywalker Ranch. He wants to retreat from the hustle.
Got a Yoda in the
Yoda
front.
in the middle, yeah, right in the front. That's I like that.
I like that as well. That'd be gorgeous at Christmas.
Yeah, but the
All
problem you've got
lights.
with these places, they're just so big.
Yeah.
Just way too big to live in.
But if you had like a big family and loads of friends, you could have them all for Christmas.
Yeah.
And bustle of everyday life, he heads over to the one and only Skywalker Ranch. Named after Luke Skywalker, the compound comes in at about 1,900 hectares. However, only about 6 hectares have been developed. It's on these 6 hectares that Lucas has a state-of-the-art sound mixing and recording facility. It's here that Mr. Lucas mixed many of the soundtracks and music effects used in his movies, making it an important part of Star Wars history. However, beyond getting work done, the ranch is also a place for fun and relaxation. More specifically, the ranch includes a barn with numerous animals, a vineyard, and a garden filled with fruits and vegetables, and an on-site restaurant, an outdoor swimming pool, a fitness center, a man-made body of water known as Ewok Lake, and the coolest of all, a hilltop observatory with a 300-seat
Wow.
theater. The main home is also quite interesting as it comes in at a massive 50,000 square feet and was designed in a Victorian style that is in stark contrast to the futurism of Star Wars. If that wasn't enough, practically every corner of the house is decked out in Star Wars memorabilia, making you feel as if you're living with the characters every moment. It's thanks to all these buildings and upgrades that the entire ranch is at an astonishing $100 million, making it, for all intents and purposes, a true billionaire's playground.
Yeah.
Are we allowed to say that we've never seen Star Wars?
Never seen one in my life.
There's going to be people that are going, what?
Yeah, never seen it in my life.
I keep saying I'm going to watch it, but
No, I'm
as of
not.
yet, I've still not watched it.
I have no interest in it.
Number 6, the Eye of Horus house. While there are plenty of models out there, Naomi Campbell is one of the most famous on the planet. Considered to be a supermodel by the international press, she was in the heyday of her career throughout the 90s, the 2000s, and the 2010s. And it was during this time period that she had a house that was like no other. You see, from 2008 to 2013, Naomi Campbell dated Russian oligarch Vladislav Doronin. While Naomi had a strong income of her own, Doronin's status as a billionaire made him even wealthier.
Mega wealthy.
And it was with this wealth that he bought her an island vacation home for her 41st birthday.
Wow.
However,
Like you
this
do.
wasn't just any island vacation home. Rather, it was one with an incredibly designed house on top of it. First and foremost, it's located on Turkey's so-called Cleopatra Island, which has been a resort destination in the Gulf of Govaka since ancient Roman times. The sand on Cleopatra Beach is said to be exceptional, and according to local legend, was specifically imported by Mark Antony himself for his lover, Cleopatra. Now, while this legend is likely not true, what is certainly true is that it's on this island that Doronin built a special home in the shape of the Eye of Horus. Likely done in a nod to the island's history, it was designed by Spanish architect Luis de Garrido. The shape of the eye was achieved using a series of photovoltaic cells, and it's extremely eco-friendly due to that fact that it heats itself up using solar and geothermal energy in the winter, and cools itself using landscaping and ventilation rather than AC in the summer. For its water needs, it has a rainwater collection system that is then treated with an on-site biologic system, while its glass dome is great for both letting sunlight enter and providing aesthetic appeal. Perhaps most incredibly of all, the sustainable design is able to facilitate a grand total of 25 bedrooms, 5 lounges too, making it truly
Not that
unique.
big, does it?
Luckily for Campbell, while her and Doronin are no longer dating, she still owns the property, making her the owner of some valuable real estate. Number 5. Bill Gates' Xanadu 2.0. Now, Bill Gates is easily one of the wealthiest and most important tech billionaires on the planet, so it should come as little surprise that he implemented a fair amount of tech into the creation of his Xanadu 2.0.
It's a mismatch.
Located in Medina, Washington, it comes in at an astounding 66,000 square feet and was constructed in the Pacific Lodge style, using wood from a total of 500 Douglas fir trees. While it may seem impossible to truly make use of 66,000 square feet of space, Gates does his best to try to do that, as the home features an 18-meter-long swimming pool with an underwater music system, a 2,500-square-foot gym, a 1,000-square-foot dining room, and a private library with a dome-shaped roof and an Oculus. However, while all that is kinda cool, what's borderline creepy is the insane amount of security Gates has here. That's because he set up Xanadu 2.0 so that there's an absolutely 0% chance that you'll be able to enjoy the mansion without Gates knowing your every move. If you try to enter without an invite, heat sensors can detect your movements from as far as 1.5 kilometers away.
Wow.
They'll go off, giving Gates an advanced warning. However, once you're inside, Gates takes things a step further by subjecting his guests to his PIN system. Upon entering the house, each guest is given a special PIN number. While this PIN has some upsides, after all, it can change the temperature of rooms and ambient music in the background. It also tracks your movements by working together with the home's pressure-sensitive floors, allowing Bill to track your every move. So while being a guest at his $147 million mansion would be pretty sweet, it would be a little bit unsettling, I think. It's also worth noting that while Xanadu 2.0 is a popular name for the mansion, it isn't actually called that by Gates himself. You see, Xanadu 2.0 is the fictional mansion of Charles and Citizen Kane, which is the movie about how money and possessions were unable to make a rich tycoon happy. And while you may agree or disagree with that idea, it's not hard to agree that Bill Gates' home is pretty incredible. Number 4, Necker Island. While many billionaires get a pretty bad rap, many people out there have a soft spot for Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group. He's expanded.
Remember when we met Richard Branson?
I do.
He sat next to us, didn't he?
Yeah. With his plate on his knee.
With plate on his lap,
Yeah.
We missed all the seats and we had to sit on the side of the stage side thing where the waiting chairs were. And he come and sat right in between us, didn't he?
Nice guy.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy, yeah.
His company into everything from mobile phones to jewelry to space flights, making him a bit of a maverick. Beyond his wealth, he's also known for being a pretty fun guy, and it's this adventurous tendency that was behind his decision to buy Necker Island. Purchased from the British Virgin Islands in 1978 at the age of just 28, he paid a measly $120,000 at the time, and has since spent about $10 million to create what is now considered to be a $100 to $150 million property. This property is, for all intents and purposes, a tropical paradise. After Branson located local stone, Brazilian hardwoods, Asian antiques, Indian rugs, and bamboo furniture from Bali, architects and designers got to work building a luxury crash pad on the island. The end result is a resort with a massive guest house and 6 individual Bali houses and enough capacity to support 48 people and 6 children. These guests are taken well care of by the island's 100-person strong hospitality team, which does everything from cleaning the compound to cooking 5-star meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. While Branson will book off slots for personal use, when not using the island, he rents out its rooms at prices that start at about $5,000 per night. And while this may sound a little bit pricey, the mix of incredible nature, beautiful beaches, luxury accommodations, and its association with Richard Branson, it draws the people in. However, it's worth noting that not everything has been sunshine and rainbows on Necker Island. That's because on August 22nd of 2011, the great house burned down in a blaze believed to be caused by lightning from a tropical storm. At the time, the house had 20 people inside, and while all 20 managed to escape, the entire thing burned down to the ground. Then, in 2017, tragedy struck once more. That's because it was in this year that Hurricane Irma, which was a Category 5 hurricane, struck Necker Island, destroying most of it in one fell swoop. Thankfully, Richard Branson's incredible wealth meant that he was able to repair all the damaged structures and get things up and running. As a result, if you were to visit Necker today, you wouldn't even notice the old damage.
Wow.
Number 3, Villa.
Do you know what it's got as well? A toilet. When you sit on it's all glass. You're just looking out onto the ocean.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be able to do a bowel movement if I was sat knowing people could look in. I know they can't, but
just go straight into the ocean and do it.
Ew.
Cut the middleman out.
The Leopolda. If you're looking for a property that screams old money extravagance, you can't do much better than Villa Leopolda. It's valued at about $750 million. The villa is nothing short of extravagant. It's located in the Côte d'Azur region of the French Riviera. The 80,000 square foot home was built in the region's Neo-Palladian design and sits on a 20-hectare property. Within the home itself, there are 19 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, antique furniture, super valuable pieces of art and sculpture, and fun features such as a bowling alley, multiple dining rooms, and a movie theater. Outside, the homeowners can enjoy an expansive set of gardens and a beautiful pool, with the Mediterranean being just a few kilometers away if they decide they want to go for a dip. And on the subject of homeowners, it's worth noting that the lineage of this villa is quite fascinating. As the name Villa Leopolda suggests, it was first owned by King Leopold II of Belgium and temporarily gifted to his mistress, Caroline Delacroix. I say temporary because when Leopold died, it was promptly ungifted and transferred to his nephew, King Albert I. After a brief stint as a military hospital during the First World War, it passed hands a couple of times until being purchased by a certain Ogden Codman Jr., famous American architect. He undertook massive renovations with the property and soon began to rent it out to wealthy business people and aristocrats. When he died in 1951, the property was sold to Canadian financier Isaac Walton Killam. From there, it was sold multiple times, with owners including Fiat President Gianna Agnelli, philanthropist billionaires Edmund and Lily Safra, and now, in a rather mysterious twist, whoever the Safras left the home to in their will. It's also worth noting that over the years, infamous Russian oligarch and former Brooklyn Nets owner Mikhail Prokhorov attempted to purchase it. After several attempts, in 2008 a deal was nearly penned. As per the terms, Prokhorov agreed to buy the property from the Safras for 370 million euros, plus 19.5 million euros for the villa's furniture. However, almost immediately after this deal, the 2008 financial crisis hit and Prokhorov attempted to withdraw from the deal. While he was able to do so, he lost the $39 million deposit that he paid for the villa, starting a prolonged lawsuit that Prokhorov ended up losing. So, while the Villa Leopolda is pretty cool, it's also pretty controversial. Number 2, Antia.
India.
While Mukesh Ambani may not be a household name in the West, in India, he's one of the country's biggest celebrities. As the head of Reliance Industries, which is India's largest company by market value, the billionaire has had his fair share of money to splash. It is likely because of this that he funneled between $1 and $2 billion into creating one of the world's most over-the-top homes. It's located in Mumbai, India. This 27-story monstrosity is 173 meters tall and consists of over 400,000 square feet of space. In other words, it more or less amounts to being a personal luxury apartment block. However, rather than it be split into apartments to be used by multiple people, the entire thing is in service to the Ambani family, and in my opinion, it goes a bit overboard. After all, its amenities not only include a 168-car garage, but also 9 high-speed elevators, a 50-seat theater, terraced gardens, a swimming pool, a spa, a healthcare center, a ballroom, a private ice cream store, a temple, and most strangely of all, a snow room that spits out snowflakes from the wall. As you might expect, many in India weren't too happy that billions were spent on a personal residence. Even by billionaire standards, this type of move is seen by many as quite tacky, and to many is a prime example of how India's rich care little about the common citizen. It is perhaps because of these sentiments that on February 25th of 2021, disaster almost struck the building. That's because it was on this date that a car filled with 20 explosive gelatin sticks and a letter threatening the Ambani family was found just 400 meters from Antia. While successfully defused, the car could have easily been used for an act of terror against the family. Beyond this stunt, though, the building is at a close call on July 10th of 2017. That's because seemingly out of nowhere, a fire broke out on the 9th floor, threatening to tear through the building. Thankfully, firefighters got to it within a few minutes, and once the fire's origins were assessed, it was determined that the damage was confined to the 4G antenna and plastic framing of the vertical garden. So what do you guys think? Is Antia a little too over the top, or is it sensible for a family like the Ambanis? Let me know in the comments below. Number 1. Tiger Woods' Jupiter Island Estate. From the late 1990s to the late 2000s, Tiger Woods was one of the most prominent athletes on the PGA Tour. After all, it was during this era that he won the most of his 82 PGA tournaments, landing him a career earnings of more than $157 million and a total of about $1 billion when including sponsorships. And while his golfing abilities have cooled down a little bit ever since his 2009 accident, this lack of recent tournament money hasn't stopped him from holding on to his massive Jupiter Island estate. So it's located on Jupiter Island in Florida. It was purchased for $40 million with his then-wife Ellen Nordgren back in 2006, and it features 5 hectares of land alongside a 9,700 square foot beachfront. The interior is also elite. It's got 3,300 square feet of living area and a 6,400 square foot multi-purpose building, both of which feature luxury finishings, top-of-the-line rooms, and of course the multi-purpose building, a world-class gym, wine cellar, and oxygen therapy room. However, it's the backyard that is truly unique and is very, well, Tiger-esque. That's because while it has cool amenities such as a 30-meter-long swimming pool, an outdoor basketball court, a tennis court, and a boating dock, its true claim to fame is its own massive golf course. Consisting of 4 greens, 6 bunkers with different depths and types of sand, a video center, and a putting studio, the golf course is the perfect place to get some warm-up shots in before a round. And while it is technically a little short for a pro like Tiger, after all, it's too small for him to hit anything more than a 7-iron, it's a top-tier place for him to wake up and get some golf in. Beyond the actual facilities, the golf-related tech at the estate is also top tier, as it has differently contoured turf grass management systems in place that allow for the fine-tuning of green speeds. What this means is that Tiger can have the grass grow at different speeds in both the fairway and the rough, allowing him to fine-tune it to the conditions of his next tournament course. As an added touch, the home was even designed to allow Tiger to hit practice balls from his second-floor bedroom, allowing him to get some swings in during both the morning and at night. As a result, his home is now valued at an astounding $54 million, and while this makes it prohibitively expensive for most, it would be the perfect purchase for a wealthy professional golfer should Woods ever decide to sell it. I'll see you next time.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That was Tiger Woods. The house is mint. It's like
some of those houses were stunning.
yeah.
But
The one in India is just a massive
that's
eyesore.
just
I
an
think.
eyesore, yeah. That
It's not for me,
colourful one as well was horrible.
Yeah, and I think even Bill Gates one was just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just looks a bit of a
Classless.
mismatch. Looks like he's put it together with like like stuff he's found around.
Well, they say it looks like when kids have to make a model at school.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, mismatch.
A
Yeah.
shoebox.
Yeah, toilet roll holder. You know, things like that. Yeah. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next one.
Bye.
Cheers.